how Nader made over $700,000 of assignment fees, and how you can do the same exact thing. What is up, guys? Zach in here. Welcome to the Bags to Riches podcast. And I have a wholesaler who did over $700,000 in assignment fees. And not to brag, but he made over $200,000 on one wholesaling deal. And he showed me the HUDs. I was like, no way. He showed me the HUDs. He showed me everything. And it's amazing. It's legit. He's doing this business real. And what I want to do is really break down his business and, most importantly, how you can do the same thing as him. So, Nader, what's up?
Not too much, Zach. About yourself?
I'm excited, man. I love seeing great stories. I love seeing young guys go out here and actually live their life and really crush wholesaling real estate. So, how old are you?
I am just recently 22 years old.
22 years old, over 700K. This is an amazing story. And let's get into it. How did you get started in wholesaling real estate?
Yeah, so it was the second year of college, and I was in college for engineering, and classes went virtual because of COVID. And as one does while in online classes, I was scrolling through TikTok. I see some 19-year-old with a wholesale check of like 17 grand. Like, what is this? What's going on, right? How is that possible, right? So I Google it, figure it out. I start making offers on market, and I just try to rinse and repeat that for 90 days plus. I never actually closed a deal from that, but I did learn how to talk to realtors. And then I found you, right? I started following your guides and figuring out how to cold call direct to seller, pulling lists, marketing as much as I can, literally 2 to 7 p.m. every single day for months and months on end. It was pretty painful. I didn't actually get a deal from that because I wasn't following your advice to a T. I was pulling the wrong lists.
Oh.
But that did give me the skills to go out and partner up with guys that already had marketing going, already had really good leads. I had gone on quite a few appointments just for my own marketing and appointment setting. So yeah, I eventually ended up getting the skill set to become a closer, and about 6 months in, closed my first deal.
Wow. So what market were you in?
I'm out of Houston.
Okay. And
Yeah.
so what college did you go to there?
Texas A&M.
So Texas A&M, wholesaling there. You did deals in Houston. So what was your first wholesaling deal like, and how much money you make on that?
That was a crazy deal. So it came out of nowhere. My buddy, the guy that I was partnering with, did a lot of marketing back in the day, and it was a very broad net, like radio marketing. He had a lead come in from his website out of nowhere. He hadn't done marketing on his website for years. But a random lead came in. They said, come out. I want to sell the house today. So I go drive over to Eagle Lake, Texas, like an hour and a half away, middle of nowhere. I meet these people, chat with them. I chat them up for like 3 hours, right? Just sitting down with them, talking about it. House needed a lot of work. And yeah, I just throw out the classic low ball offer the way that Zach taught me. And yeah, I contract the property at 70. We go back. We're not sure if it's a deal because it's a very rural area and needs a lot of work. So we send it out to the email list just to see what happens. And we have a guy reply saying, I'll take it. And the deal took 90 days to close because it's a super rural county and their recorder sucks. Like, it was so hard to get it closed. But eventually it got done. I had to find the seller a lease. It was probably the most painful deal I've done. But I made $87.50 from my cut, 50-50. And yeah, no, blessed for it.
Wow, man. How long ago was that?
June 2021.
Jeez, man. That's about 2 years-ish ago, first deal. And then obviously you're at this point here. So how did you get that lead?
That lead came in. It was just completely a shot in the dark out of nowhere. I mean, I was going on appointments and talking to sellers from a guy who was he was seasoned in the business, but he took a break and then he came back. Started dabbling again. He had some cold callers working, and that's where most of the appointments came from. But this person just recognized the name of his company from many, many years ago and went to the website. They just Googled "sell my house fast Houston" kind of thing. And his popped up on like number 11 or 12, but they remembered the name because they listened to it on the radio so much. And so they call us up, right? We just go out there, close it.
Wow. Hey, it worked out. How did you find that guy?
The guy, literally Facebook. I thank Facebook for everything. Facebook has got me so many great connections.
I'm telling you, man, it's a fit. A lot of young people are like, oh, it's for old people. It's amazing. It's where the old cash buyers are. It's where people still do business. So it's amazing. So you got that first deal. What was the second and third deal from there? Then, how do you start scaling that up?
I think from there, I just kept looking for more partners. The second deal, actually, I got from door knocking, though.
Wow,
So,
yourself?
yeah, I was out here
Wow.
actually in College Station area. I was just door knocking pre foreclosures because I saw their auction online. Sleeper market, honestly, there's not too much competition out here. Ever since I started door knocking, everyone else did. But
Yeah.
being said, it was the day before. It was the week of Christmas, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
And I had been door knocking this guy like 4 or 5 times the past 14 days, right? Because I knew his auction was coming up in like 10 more days. Um, so the second to last time I door knocked him, he actually yelled me off the front porch because it was 2 days before Thanksgiving, but his auction or Christmas, but his auction was 6 days later. Right. So I was kind of in a rush and we already connected. We had good rapport and all. The next day I swing by around 6, 7 p.m. It's kind of dark outside. It's winter. I tape a contract to his door with my price on it because he didn't answer the door. And next morning I wake up to a phone call, right? It says, "Are you serious? You'll buy my house for this much?" And I say, "Yeah, no, of course, let's go." And he emails me back the contract signed, and I take that deal and I go. Well, he had to push back the auction, and after that, right, I had to walk through what's going on. Hard to find a buyer out there for my first deal, but I got it done, and I think I made 17.5 on that deal.
Wow.
Yeah,
that's creative. I actually never heard something like that. That's impressive.
Reverse driving for dollars is 10x, right? On
it's
the taping contracts.
Reverse driving for dollars on steroids. Holy moly, yeah. That's wow. So that's impressive. So that's creative. So I already know off the bat you're a smart dude. You're thinking outside the box, and so you keep scaling it up. How do you get to that big deal? Like, let's talk about that $200,000 deal. Then I saw the HUD, but I want to know the story behind it.
Okay, so we were SMSing pre-foreclosures, and this is where most of my deals ended up coming from.
SMSing pre-foreclosures?
SMS pre-foreclosures all day long. And every single good deal that I've had, almost every single one has ended up being a pre-foreclosure plus probate. And most people don't really know how to work around probates or pre-foreclosures. So whenever you have both those specialties, it works really, really well for building.
And they're the two most motivated lists.
Exactly. Yeah, so it's a killer deal. This guy was actually 12 days out or so from auction. Mm-hmm. So we contract same day, maybe next day, for a net to seller amount, right? And I told him, "Hey, I'll take care of the probate going on. I'll take care of the pre-foreclosure going on, right? Your auction's coming up." I just take the contracts to the bank, tell them, "Hey, what can you do for us?" They push it back sometime. Then I go through 2 or 3 probate attorneys trying to find the right one that's able to get it done super quickly. And usually a probate here takes like 6 months or so.
Yeah.
I got it done in like 45 days. Yeah, everything had to line up. And I closed that deal.
The attorney, what was the special part of getting it done quick?
So the deceased person had a trust. They had other properties in that trust. This property was not in that trust. The first attorney I had tried to do a regular probate, like independent administration, just generic cookie cutter probate. And that would have taken a very, very long time to even get the hearing. So once I saw the hearing date, I was like, okay, let me find the next one. Like, let's figure out if there's any way to get this done. Because it was a really good deal. And so I call these probate attorneys and I find the right one that's able to expedite the hearing, right? They have the know-how and they have the connections to get it done. So they did an ex parte hearing or whatnot, and they basically moved the property into the trust and then let him sell it as the trustee of the trust. Way quicker process that way, especially in California. And yeah, I actually ended up closing that deal the day of the next auction. They wouldn't push it back at all.
Wow.
I closed the deal Wednesday, Monday, Tuesday, up until Wednesday at like noon. I was on and off the phone with the bank, title company, just so stressing over this deal. Jeez. And the wire hit. And I got to kick back, relax.
Wow. How far was that from now? Was it like a year ago? Like, when did you get that deal done?
Maybe a month ago. No, 3 months ago.
Oh, wow.
Pretty recent. Really recent. Really recent.
How'd that feel, man?
Mind blowing. I never imagined that I could get that much off of, like, that much life-changing money off of one deal, especially at this, kind of stage in life.
Yeah.
It's really insane what wholesaling can do to someone's trajectory.
I mean, I remember last year in the month of January did $200,000 deals, and that felt great. But I can't imagine 200 grand on one deal. Wow,
Yeah.
that's life changing stuff. You know, I'm guessing you're. Did you finish college?
I'm taking a break right now.
Yeah, you're taking. I mean, what's the point, right?
I mean, TBD.
Yeah, yeah,
We'll see what happens, right? If I make it, then I make it.
yeah. When you started doing that, start making checks. I mean, were your parents a little upset with you with it, or were they like, "Hey, you're doing good"?
A little bit of this, a little bit of that. I mean,
Yeah,
the way I see it is, end of the day, whenever someone wants something for someone they love, right?
yeah,
They're going to always think that that's the best like route for them.
yeah,
And I respect that because it's about safety and security for their friends, family, whatnot. Um, they saw the check and they were like, "Wow, he's actually doing it." I think after that deal, actually, they gained a little more recognition for it because they were like,
yeah.
"This guy's pulling in racks," like what's going on? Um, yeah, but seeing an actual life changing amount of money come in at once is pretty eye opening for anybody.
Wow. And I'm telling you, if you keep doing that up, I can only imagine where you're going to be at here. So let's talk about your business now. 700K, basically 2.5-ish years. Let's do it. So you're mostly doing SMS, right?
Mm-hmm.
Are there any? Wait, say that again.
Almost entirely.
Wow. Okay. And what platform are you using?
I'm on high level.
High level. Okay. I
So
never heard of that one.
Plus Twilio. It's mostly used for like SaaS marketing and other stuff like that.
Okay.
But definitely works for SMS integrated with Twilio. Not the traditional batch leads kind of thing. I feel like they're at least whenever I was looking at rates, their flexibility with how you can reply to messages and stuff
Yeah.
isn't so there, right? It's kind of automated background noise. Like it filters it out till it becomes a lead. And then once it identifies a lead, then I can call it right there. Totally inclusive CRM kind of thing.
Cool. And what skip trace are you using for it?
I have a guy on Fiverr.
Wow.
Yeah,
Really?
it works, right? I mean,
I mean, heck, I tell people I'm not the biggest fan of Fiverr, but if you're using Fiverr and you've gotten deals from it, don't change it, right? So
because I do a lot of volume on SMS,
yeah.
right? And the rates of mainstream services are so high up there.
Mm.
It's hard to really beat, even if it's like a minus 20% hit rate. If
Yeah.
we can get it for half the price, it doesn't really matter.
Yeah. I mean, heck, like I always say, if it works, don't stop doing it. And so you're doing all this. And what kind of list are you doing mostly here?
I'm doing a lot of code violations. I'm doing some pretty crazy stuff with defaults and all that. I'm trying to get them before pretty much anybody else does. So I'm going the extra mile on finding the right records, pulling those. Those I am getting cold called.
Yeah.
So the really high niched out lists, if I can stack them right, anything like that, I do want it cold called. I will get higher quality data back for those. But if it's just a traditional prop stream, free foreclosure list for a whole county or two, that's just going to be straight to the Fiverr guy.
Okay. Nice. And cold calling, are you cold calling yourself?
I have a guy. I used to, right? But I put in my time. So I have a guy doing it now.
Awesome. And is it a VA, American?
He's a VA partner. I mean, he cold calls primarily. We brought him on. I'm training him up to be acquisitions because he's really good at
Oh, wow.
So that's kind of the transition I want to make happen.
Cool.
I want to get him some life changing money too. I mean, this business has been too good to me.
Yeah. And so is this person already producing, or are you trying to get them to start? So they are.
Several contracts as a result of them. Yeah.
Okay. And how do you define this VA?
I think we had worked together before. He had been in a cold calling agency, and then he quit from the cold calling agency, so he called me up.
Oh, wow.
And, now here we are.
Cool. What country is he from?
Really good rapport. He's from Costa Rica.
Okay. That's perfect. Especially if you're in Texas, you're in California. I'm guessing they speak Spanish. So that's perfect. I'm telling you, a lot of people, Latin American cold callers, they're doing well because I mean, you're in Texas. I mean, you probably went to school. I mean, people got like Spanish accents. Like it's like nothing there, right? So that's a great little secret. I think a lot of people should start doing. So, how many texts are you sending out a month? You would say
about between 1 to 2,500, 1,000 to 2,500 texts a day. It's kind of my aim.
Nice.
Call it 5 days a week. So
it's not crazy either. Like it's not like a stupid, crazy high amount that's like overwhelming.
it's a pipeline, right? So it's a steady
Yeah.
flow. And
Wow.
then
Okay.
stacks up over time, right? How the follow ups going.
Okay. And the acquisitions part, how's that being done?
Almost entirely by me. I do have my guy do follow ups and kind of warm up the leads, and I'm training him up to start closing some of the deals
Mhm.
himself. Because also there's some leads like you mentioned in Spanish. My Spanish is high school Spanish 2 level. I'm not
Yeah.
going to get that deal going. Um, but there's a lot of leads that he'll warm up, and the rapport is so good with him that I'll just let him close it out.
Beautiful.
So
Okay.
generally speaking, once the lead is hot, it gets passed to me, and then I just take him through the closing process. I take care of the dispo as well, TC. So it's kind of trying to take care of the entire back end of the business while they produce as much as they can on the front end.
Yeah, I mean you're doing the acquisitions and cash buyer side yourself. You're still making more than most people scaled out, right? And
Hmm.
so you're, I'd say if you're doing $200,000 deals and these massive deal, I keep the acquisitions going for yourself till you can eventually get too much volume, right? But I like your system. So finding cash buyers, right? Obviously, for that $200,000 deal, how did you find the cash buyer for that one?
So I'm sure you've heard of Investor Lift.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm on cartel mode because there was this one deal. It's a long story. We started off with a JV that somebody sold via cartel mode that we couldn't sell ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
So we go to Investor Lift. We kind of figure out what's going on there. And I have another deal that comes up the following week after we close this one, where it's a phenomenal deal. It's in Hillsborough Shores, um, great part of Florida, very high end market though. We
Yeah.
don't have buyers for that, right? It's like a 1.8 million ARV, and so we're kind of stuck between a rock and a hard place. We have a killer deal in front of us, but we don't have anybody we know. Mostly hedge funds is who we were selling to at that time. We don't have anybody in pocket to buy that deal.
Mm-hmm.
So you pull the trigger, right? We have a money back guarantee kind of thing, and yeah, we sold that deal for 115 grand assignment up front. It's kind of the first round of it. So it went pretty well for that deal. They renegotiated us back down later, so it's not a close 115, unfortunately. But this deal also, I could have sold it for more than I did for this 200K deal, but I wanted to take the right buyer as opposed to the best buyer because I knew the guy would work with me on time frame and all, considering how hectic the closing situation was with the auction and probate. So that was also off Investor Lift, blasted out to the whole county. Got some really, really good hits.
Wow. Okay. And so are you basically using that software for your dispositions right now?
Primarily because I work in so many markets,
Yeah.
right? So if I'm working in 20 different markets or I have deals from here or there, I don't know what state my next deal is going to be in.
Yeah.
So for that reason, it makes a lot of sense for guys that are just all over the place. If I was niched down, right, just in Houston, which is honestly harder than working in every market, I think. I
Yeah.
think Houston's a really difficult market to work. Um, then I would probably just be local, making friends, shoulder to shoulder, right? And
Yeah.
some deals left and right.
Yeah. I love it. And so you're obviously trying to scale it up even more, but what would your big secret be on getting these code violation lists and some of these niched out government lists that you're getting? Because you're obviously getting around the country and there's always somebody watching this that's like they're struggling to get it. So what's your big secret on getting those type of lists?
There's ways to scrape a whole page of data
Yeah.
and just kind of crawl through the whole network of data. If you do a little bit of research into that, you'll find it yourself. It's very, very straightforward.
Hmm.
But it's a little bit of digging and finding the right lead sources, like trustees, guys. Trustees all are public. There's so many public
Yeah.
auction sites, even auction.com. Like there's a lot of lists out there that just aren't touched by the mainstream. You can get a lot of really quick, easy deals off of all these free lists, right? You could just manually skip trace it and get deals done for sure.
That's what I say. You think outside the box. The more motivated the lead, the more likely you're going to make money on it. And that's kind of, I think you took my advice to heart and then you just went crazy on it. And you're kind of where you're at now. And obviously you're looking to scale up even more and we're excited for it. So what are you looking to do in the next year? Like what are your goals? What are you trying to do? And what's your process for that?
I'm trying to buy assets, man. If I can get a hold of some really good owner finance sub two deals in this coming quarter, really by the end of the year, I want to own at least a few more.
Yeah.
Um, buy a commercial deal, mobile home park. Buying property is kind of my next step on it. Also consistently, I think in the next 2 years, I want to be able to kind of take a break, not take a break, but just be able to step back a little bit, distance myself from the business and not have everything fall apart.
Yeah.
Replacing myself in the business is going to be the next step, primarily.
Awesome. Well, I'm looking forward to your journey. I think you're just getting started on it, and I think you're definitely on your way to something even crazier. So I'm always excited for it, but I love it. So if you have any deals and you want to send them to him, here's his IG handle. So what markets primarily would you want people sending you deals at?
Houston, I'll say most of California, LA, Sacramento, Fresno. Southeast Florida is always nice. I'm not going to
Yeah.
lie here.
Oh
Memphis,
yeah.
Tennessee. I guess South Carolina, Columbia, South Carolina is a really good market for us. But primarily any Texas metro, Florida metro, Cali metro.
Basically anywhere.
You know,
Awesome. So hit him up here. That's his Instagram handle. And I love it. So appreciate you, man. What's your parting thoughts of advice for anybody watching this that they want to get their first deal or they're struggling right now to consistently get leads? What would you tell them right now?
this is not an easy business to make money in within the first, like, you're not going to see instant results on it. Very, very long-term ROI. But if you're here for the long game of, hey, I want to be in real estate and get wealthy, right? Like I'm here to change my whole family's path and just really be that guy in the family. To start running at the wall, right? And if you, eventually you'll start to climb it. So I would say practical advice: pull the best records you can, call as many as you can a day, keep track of it, and keep notes, right? Make sure you're not missing out on leads that were kind of interested, not interested. Always follow up. If you do all this enough, right, you're going to find someone that just pops.
Yeah.
And then you figure out it's into contract over, right? And then you take that to Facebook or the buyer in the area. It'll happen, right? Just give it time. So just give it time, give it action. Just take as much action as you possibly can, the best way you know how to.
That's it. Nader, thank you so much for hopping on. I'm excited to see where you're going to be in the future. And thank you so much for talking on the Bags Churches podcast.
No problem. Thank you.